حسین سے مظلوم پر درود پڑھو، تمام ائمہ معصوم پر درود پڑھو، محیب و چارد معصوم پر درود پڑھو۔ اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد۔ اسی درود سے ہو بندگی خدا کی قبول، اسی درود سے ہوتے ہیں خوش جناب رسول، اسی درود سے ہوتے ہیں نازیوں میں شمول، اسی درود سے ہوتے ہیں قصر خلد میں حور، محیب و چارد معصوم پر درود پڑھو۔ درود پڑھنے سے افضل و صفات پاؤ گے، درود پڑھنے سے لطف حیات پاؤ گے، درود پڑھنے سے اچھی وفات پاؤ گے، درود پڑھنے سے یارو نجات پاؤ گے، محیب و چارد معصوم پر درود پڑھو۔ درود پڑھ کے پکارا قلم دم ارقا، امین روقل اب تو سنے زباں کی لگا، رسول فاطمہ زہرا ہے اور بارہ امام، یہی بزرگ ہے سب لائیں گے درود سلام، محیب و چارد معصوم پر درود پڑھو۔ پر محمد والے محمد صلوات۔ عاشور کی سب ہے سکینہ کا وہ رونا، اور سید مظلوم کی بیٹی سے یہ کہنا، اچھی نہیں یہ بات نہ رویا کرو بی بی، پہلو میں کبھی ماں کے بھی سو یا کرو بی بی، اچھی نہیں یہ بات نہ رویا کرو بی بی، کیا ہووے کسی سب کو جو ہم گھر میں نہ آئے، تم ہم کو نہ پاؤ تمہیں ہم بھی نہیں پائے، تڑپو گی نہیں درد سے وعدہ کرو بی بی، پہلو میں کبھی ماں کے بھی سو یا کرو بی بی، اچھی نہیں یہ بات نہ رویا کرو بی بی، ارے کچھ دیر تو یہ فرض کرو ہم نہ رہے گر، باقی نہ رہے ہاتھ کوئی رکھنے کو سر پر، ماحول یتیموں کا بھی سوچا کرو بی بی، پہلو میں کبھی ماں کے بھی سو یا کرو بی بی، अच्छी नहीं ये बात न रोया करो बीबी। अरे असगर को न मानूस करो प्यार से अपने। अकबर की उरूसी के न दे खा करो सपने। सुगरा के करीब इतना न बैठा करो बीबी। पहलू में कभी माँ के भी सो या करो बीबी। अच्छी नहीं ये बात न रो या करो बीबी। पर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु।
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। इन्ना लिल्लाहि व इन्ना इलैहि राजिऊन। As Rasulullah was in Medina, he goes past a home in Medina and he hears a child crying from that house. Rasulullah goes to that house and he says, "Don't let this child cry again." They said, "Ya Rasulullah, what is special about this child that you're saying don't let him cry again?" Rasulullah says that whenever this child cries, it reminds me of my Hussein. I say, Rasulullah, look upon the day of Ashura, that Imam al-Hussein, he says, Ana qatilul abarat, that I am the one who was killed while he was crying. That at the body of Ali Akbar he shed tears, at the body of Qasim he shed tears, at the arms of Abbas he shed tears. You know, when you look in the ziyarat, you find that there are many lines which are ajib in describing the musibah of Sayyid al-Shuhada. But one of those lines of ziyarat is when Sayyida Zainab went past the body of her brother for the first time. You know, as Zainab goes past the body of her brother, the lines of ziyarah she recites is that she says, As-salamu ala al-Husayn al-madloom, al-maqtool, al-majruh al-adshana, al-madboom min al-qafa fi yawmi ashura bila jurmin wala khata, alladhi ghusluhu damu wa kafanuhu rimalul Karbala. You know what Zainab says? She says, Salam be upon my Mazloom and oppressed brother Hussein, the one who was killed, the one who was wounded while he was thirsty. But then you know what Sayyida Zainab says after that? She says that whenever you cut a neck, there are two ways to cut a neck. Either you cut from the front or you cut from the back. She says, my brother Hussein is that one, that when they cut the neck of my brother, from the back of the neck, they cut the neck of Hussein on the day of Ashura. She says, which Hussein is this? This is that Hussein whose ghusl was done with the blood from the wounds upon his body. And this is that Hussein whose kafan was the khak and the dust of Karbala. I didn't come to recite in length. The day of Ashura it happened. On and Muhammad were shaheed. The body of Qasim was broken to pieces. The arrow went into the chest of Ali Akbar. The arms of Abbas were cut. You know, it's stated, Ni'matullah al-Jazairi, he writes something. You know, I was thinking where to begin the Masa'ib. But then I thought I would begin it with that daughter of Hussein. Not that daughter in Karbala, but the one who was in Medina. Ni'matullah al-Jazairi says that daughter of the Imam Fatima al-Sughra, after her father left, every day she would go to the grave of Rasulullah. Until a day it came that she couldn't handle it anymore. She gets a messenger and she sends a letter to her father. That messenger reaches upon the day of Ashura. And he reaches specifically as Imam al-Hussein stands over the body of Ali Akbar. He says that which one is Hussein? They say, you see that old man standing over the body of his son crying, that is Hussein. That individual, he goes, he says, Antel Hussein, that are you Hussein? The Imam says, yes, I am, but who are you? He says, Ana Baridu Sughra, that I am the messenger of your daughter. But the description she gave, it doesn't describe you. The description didn't say that your hair had become white. What would the Imam do after the day of Ashura? The messenger says that what reply should I give to your daughter? You know what Sayyid al-Shuhada he does? He takes that letter, he places it on the chest of Ali Akbar. He says the blood will be the reply towards my daughter Fatima. Imam al-Hussein, he goes to the tent to bid his final farewell. One day Allam al-Majlisi, he was thinking that I want to write the greatest musibah of the day of Ashura. He thought that should I write about the cut arms of Abbas? Should I write about the trampling of the body of Qasim? Should I write about Ali Akbar? He says that as I was thinking what to write, that night I went to sleep. When I went to sleep, I saw Fatima Zahra within my dream. And Janab Zahra said, O Majlisi, write the final farewell of Hussein. For this was that difficult moment from the day of Ashura. Imam al-Hussein goes to the tent. He says, Ya Zainab, Ya Ruqayya, Ya Kulthum, Ya Sakina, alaykunna minni salam. He says, Ya Zainab, Ya Kulthum, Ya Sakina, Ya Ruqayya, take my final salam. Then after that he says, Ya Fidda, إيتوني بثوب لا يرغب فيه فأخذ ثوبا خلق فخرقه فجعله تحت ثيابه. It stated that the Imam, he says, O Fidda, bring me that old cloth, O Fidda. But O Fidda, when you bring that cloth, make sure that Zainab doesn't see that cloth, O Fidda. As Fidda, she's bringing that piece of cloth for Sayyid al-Shuhada. Sayyida Zainab says, Oh Fidda, what are you taking? Fidda, she doesn't reply towards Sayyida Zainab. When Sayyida Zainab asks for a second time, Fidda says, this is that cloth which your mother Fatima had sewn for Hussein for this day. Zainab says, Oh Fidda, why didn't you just tell me this is that kafan of Hussein? If you want to see see how alone Sayyid al-Shuhada was. The Imam, he takes that cloth, he begins to rip that cloth. They say, oh Hussein, why are you ripping that cloth? The Imam says that I know they'll take everything from me. Maybe if the shirt is ripped, they'll leave it upon my body. Sayyid al-Shuhada, after that, he goes to the tent where his son laid ill upon the day of Ashura. He goes to the tent of Imam Zainul Abidin. When the Imam goes to the tent of Sayyid al-Sajjad, how does the Imam see him? Imam Zainul Abidin, he sees that his father's back has become bent after the shahadat of Abbas. He sees upon his beard is the blood of Ali Asghar. On his arms are the blood of Ali Akbar. The Imam, he says, Aina Ammi al-Abbas, that, oh father, where is my uncle Abbas? They say, Qad qutila, oh Sajjad, Abbas has been killed. He says, Aina Akhi Aliyun al-Akbar, that where is my brother Ali Akbar? The Imam says, oh Sajjad, Qad qutila. He says, oh Sajjad, either I am left or you are left from amongst the men, O Zainul Abidin. The Imam, he begins to pass the secrets of Imamat to Imam Zainul Abidin. But as he's bidding farewell to the Imam, you find that he says to the Imam that when you go to Medina, tell my Shia, شيعتي مهما شربتم أدب ماء فاذكروني أو سمعتم بالشهيد أو غريب فانضبوني أنا السبت الذي من غير جرم قتلوني. That I wish you saw me on the day of Ashura. ليتكم في يوم عاشوراء جميعا تنظروني كيف أستسقي لطفلي فأبوا أن يرحموني. The Imam says, oh Sajjad, tell my Shia that whenever you drink cold water, remember me. Whenever you hear the news of somebody who is gharib and alone, remember me. Whenever you hear the news of a shaheed, remember me. And then he says, tell my Shia, I wish you saw me on the day of Ashura, how I was asking water for my infant. Instead of water, they fired an arrow at my Ali Asghar. Imam al-Hussein, he leaves the tent of Imam Zainul Abidin. At this moment, Sheikh Jaffar Shushtari writes, فَالْتَفَتَ إِلَى يَمِينِهِ وَالشِّمَالِهِ. The Imam looks to the right. He looks to the left. He stands in front of Dhul Jannah, his horse. He says, O Akbar, O Abbas, I helped you upon your horse. Is there anyone to help me at this moment? You know, there are two riwayat. One riwayat, it says, Sayyida Zainab comes out of the tent. She says, oh my brother, Zainab is still alive. It says that Zainab gets on the ground. She places her hand. The Imam places his foot on the hand of Zainab. The Imam gets on Dhul Jannah. But the second riwayat, it says that Sayyida Zainab places her knee upon the ground. When Zainab, she places her knee on the ground, the Imam places his foot on the knee. After that, Imam al-Hussein, he gets on Dhul Jannah. As the Imam is on Dhul Jannah, the horse doesn't move forward. When Sayyid al-Shuhada looks towards the ground, he sees his 3.5-year-old daughter holding the leg of Dhul Jannah. She was saying, "O horse of my father, anyone who has gone to the battlefield hasn't come back. Don't take my father away from me." You know, in the Manaqib of Ibn Sharashub, he writes a line of poetry about what the Imam said to Sakina. The Imam says, "Sayatulu min ba'di ya Sakina fa'lami," that, "O Sakina, after me you'll have a lot to cry about, O Sakina. La tuhriki bidam'ika hasratan." But, "O Sakina, as long as I am alive, don't burn my heart with your tears, O Sakina, because after I'm dead, the greatest right to cry over me belongs to you, O Sakina." Imam al-Hussein, he bids farewell to his daughter. As he goes to the Maqtal for the final time, he hears a voice behind him. That voice, it says, "Mahlan, mahlan ibn Zahra." That his sister had come out for the final time. She said, "Oh brother, can you come off your horse?" The Imam comes upon the plains of Karbala. Sayyida Zainab kisses the neck of Hussein. The Imam says that, "Why did you do this?" Sayyida Zainab looks towards Baqi. She says, "Oh my brother, when my mother Fatima was passing away, she had made one wasiyah. She said on the day of Ashura, kiss the neck of Hussein." The Imam, he says, "Oh Zainab, let me see your arm, O Zainab." The Imam kisses the arms of Sayyida Zainab. The Imam says, "Oh Zainab, in the way our mother Fatima made a will, our father Ali also made one wasiyah, O Zainab. Our father had told me that on the day of Ashura, kiss the arms of Zainab, because after Karbala, those arms..." Imam al-Hussein goes to the battlefield. Each of the companions were shaheed so Hussein could live. But now that moment has come. Sayyid al-Shuhada, he goes to the Maqtal. As Imam goes to the Maqtal, he begins to recite his rajas. He said, "Al-maut awla min rukub al-ar, wal-ar awla min dukhul al-nar. Ana al-Husayn ibn Ali, ami ayalati abi, alaytu an la antani, amdi ala din al-Nabi." The Imam says that I am Hussein, the son of Ali. I am the one who will defend my family. I will never give up. I'll follow upon the footsteps of Rasulullah. As Sayyid al-Shuhada, he begins to go to the battlefield. They realize they couldn't fight Hussein one-on-one. They begin to surround Sayyid al-Shuhada from all sides. At that moment, arrow after arrow is going into the body of Hussein. You know, when Sayyida Zainab, she comes out from the tent, she sees one man standing there. Thousands were surrounding him from all sides. Arrow after arrow going into his body. She says one line. She says, "Anta akhi." That, "Are you my brother Hussein?" I've left the Masayib. You know, when Mukhtar, he caught those who did the crimes in Karbala, he would say to each of them, "What did you do?" They would tell Mukhtar what he did. Mukhtar, he catches 10 individuals. He says to them, "Who are you?" They say, "We were 10 horse riders." When the body of Hussein was on the ground, Umar bin Saad told us to trample the body of Hussein. We took our horses over the body of Hussein. The hooves of the horses would go into the body. After that, Mukhtar, he catches a man. He says, what did you do on the day of Ashura? That man says everyone was looting the body of Hussein. Somebody would take the turban of Hussein. Somebody would take the cloak of Hussein. Somebody would take the shirt of Hussein. I saw on the hand of Hussein was a ring. When I tried to pull the ring, it wouldn't come off. I took my dagger. I cut the finger. After that, Mukhtar, he catches Hurmala. Mukhtar says, oh Hurmala, what did you do on the day of Ashura? Hurmala says, there were 3 arrows that I dipped in poison that I fired to the side of Hussein. Mukhtar says, oh Hurmala, where did the first arrow go? Hurmala says that when Abbas was returning with the water to the tent, I fired my arrow into the mushk, into the water bag. At that moment, the water began to pour, and with that, the ummid and the hope of Abbas, instead of returning to the tent, Abbas stayed upon the battlefield. Mukhtar says, oh Hurmala, where did you fire that second arrow? Hurmala says, oh Mukhtar, this is that arrow which hurts me even. Mukhtar says, Hurmala, what do you mean? Hurmala says that Hussein was standing with a 6-month infant. Everyone began to cry. Umar bin Saad said, Ikta kalam al-Hussein. I fired my arrow towards the infant. Min al-Uduni il al-Udun. It went in 1 year. It came out. You know, there was an alim in Najaf. They said to him, Sayyid, when it comes to the shahadat of Ali Asghar, one riwayat says the arrow went into the ear. The other riwayat says the arrow went into the neck. That alim begins to cry. He says both of them are correct. When Hurmala fired his arrow, that arrow had 3 points upon it. One into the ear of Asghar, one into the neck of You know where that final arrow it went. Hurmala says, oh Mukhtar, Hussein was upon his horse. Arrow after arrow going into the body of Hussein. At that point, one individual, he throws a rock to the forehead of Hussein. The forehead of Hussein begins to bleed. Hussein, he takes his abba. He begins to wipe his forehead. As Hussein was wiping his forehead, I saw the chest of Hussein. I fired one arrow. The chest of Hussein. Hussein falls to the ground. The call it comes. Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutmainna irja'i ila radiki rabbiki radiyatan mardiya. You know, Imam al-Zaman in Ziyaratun Nahiya, he describes that moment when Imam al-Hussein falls off his horse. The Imam in Ziyaratun Nahiya says, فَهَوَيْتَ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ جَرِيًا, that, oh Hussein, you fell wounded to the ground. You know, your entire life, you've heard that after the Imam was shaheed, his body was trampled by the horses. Imam al-Zaman says, حَتَّى وَتَعُوكَ الْخُيُولُ بِحَوَافِرِهَا. The Imam in Ziyarat al-Nahiya says that when Hussein falls to the ground, Hussein was alive, the horses, they would trample over the body of Hussein. As Imam al-Hussein lays upon the ground in his final moments, Hurmala comes up to Hussein. He fires one arrow into the neck of Sayyid al-Shuhada. But you know, nobody is walking to the body of Hussein. Nobody has the audacity to finish Hussein. You know, as Imam al-Hussein is laying on the ground, Sayyida Zainab was watching from Tillai Zainabiyya. The Imam says, Ya Zainab, irja'i al-Fustat. Oh Zainab, go inside. May no sister see what Zainab saw on the day. One more riwayah. I don't have any more energy to recite. When Mukhtar, he caught Shimar. Mukhtar says, Oh Shimar, what did you do on the day of Ashura? Shimar says, the first thing I did is I am the one who burnt the tents of the women of Ali Muhammad. The second thing I did is that Umar bin Saad was thinking of not killing Hussein. I am the one who told them to stay. But the final thing I did is 12 times I took my dagger to the neck of Hussein. Ayatollah Jawadi Amali says that in the final moments of Hussein, the arwah of all of the Anbiya was in Karbala. Rasulullah was watching. Ali was watching. Fatima was watching. As Shimar walks to the body of Hussein, each of them, they begin to turn their face away. Adam says, Rasulullah, I can't watch. Ibrahim says, Rasulullah, I can't watch. You know, when Shimar, he sits on the chest of Hussein, Rasulullah says, Ali, Fatima, I can't watch. When Shimar, he grabs the beard of Hussein, Amir al-Mu'mineen, he says, Fatima. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Fatima, I can't watch. As Shimar, he takes his dagger, the neck of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Shimar, he places the dagger on the neck. He removes the dagger. He places it on the neck a second time. They said, Oh Shimar, why did you remove it? He says, every time I was stabbing the neck of Hussein, I heard a lady, she would say, Waladi, qataluka adshana. That, oh my son, they're killing you thirsty. Shimar, a third time the dagger goes to the neck of Hussein. On the 12th time, the head of Hussein is cut. They place the head of Hussein on a spear. Imam Zainab is asked. Matam Hussein. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Gharib, Ya Gharib, Ya Shaheed, Ya Shaheed.
असर کا وقت ہے، شبیر کی آتی ہے صدا، چور زخموں سے بدن ہو گیا اماں میرا، اپنی آغوش میں اب مجھ کو چھپا لو اماں، ارے دھوپ ہے اپنی ابا آن کے ڈالو اماں، گرم ریتی پا میں گرتا ہوں سنبھالو اماں، گرم ریتی پا میں گرتا ہوں سنبھالو اماں، تھک گیا لاش اٹھا کر میں بھرے لشکر کی، لاش قاسم کی میں لایا ہوں کبھی اکبر کی، خود بنائی تھی لحد میں نے علی اصغر کی، تو تسلی مجھے سینے سے لگا لو اماں، گرم ریتی پا میں گرتا ہوں سنبھالو اماں، تیگ تلواروں سے کھنجر سے بدن زخمی ہے، خاک جلتی ہے تو زخموں میں چبھن ہوتی ہے، میرے زخموں سے میرے دل کا لہو جاری ہے، اپنی چادر کو میرے زخم پہ ڈالو اماں، گرم ریتی پا میں گرتا ہوں سنبھالو اماں، میرا عباس خفا ہو گیا اماں مجھ سے، وہ نہیں آیا اٹھا لایا تھا بازو اس کے، اب ایک کام کرے نہر کنارے جا کے، میرے روٹھے ہوئے بھائی کو منا لو اماں، گرم ریتی پا میں گرتا ہوں سنبھالو اماں، چکیا پیسی ہے گودی میں بٹھا کر مجھ کو، جاگتی رہتی تھی زانوں پہ سلا کر مجھ کو، لوریاں دیتی تھی جھولے میں جھلا کر مجھ کو، ایک دفعہ گود میں پھر اپنی سلا لو اماں، گرم ریتی پا میں گرتا ہوں سنبھالو اماں،
پیاسے بے عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے، 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 ایک لاش ابھی لایا ہے ایک لینے چلا ہے، پیاسے بے عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے، پیاسے بے عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے، یہ حرکہ ہے وہ بھائی کا، یہ بیٹے کا لاشا، یہ حرکہ ہے وہ بھائی کا، گلا شاہ زہرا کا پسر گنج شہیداں میں کھڑا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے پیاسے وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے ایک لاش ابھی لایا ہے ایک لینے چلا ہے ایک لاش ابھی لایا ہے ایک لینے چلا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے پیاسے وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے زینب تیری چادر کا خدا حافظ و ناصر زینب تیری چادر کا خدا حافظ و ناصر لشکر نالم اور نالم دار بچا ہے لشکر نالم اور نالم دار بچا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے یہ آخری ہدیہ تھا حسین ابن علی کا یہ آخری ہدیہ تھا حسین ابن علی کا یہ بچہ بھی تیر سے جو مارا گیا ہے یہ بچہ بھی تیر سے جو مارا گیا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب قیامت کا پڑا ہے منہ ڈھانپ لو اماں کے نظر آئے نہ نیزے منہ ڈھانپ لو اماں کے نظر آئے نہ نیزے نیزوں سے یہی آن و محمد کی صدا ہے نیزوں سے یہی آن و محمد کی صدا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے ایک لاش ابھی لایا ہے ایک لینے چلا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے پیاسے وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے چھپ چھپ کے اسے روئے گی ایک رات کی بیاہی چھپ چھپ کے اسے روئے گی ایک رات کی بیاہی وہ دولہا جو بے گور و کفن رن میں پڑا ہے وہ دولہا جو بے گور و کفن رن میں پڑا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا ہے پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت ہے لیلا تیرے اکبر نے نہیں کھایا ہے نیزہ لیلا تیرے اکبر
اکبر نے نہیں کھایا ہے زائے نیزہ دل سبط پیمبر میں لگا ہے، یہ نیزہ دل سبط پیمبر میں لگا ہے، پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے، پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے، ماں جھولا جھلاتی ہے خیالوں میں ابھی تک، ماں جھولا جھلاتی ہے خیالوں میں ابھی تک، لو جھولنے والا نہیں باقی یہ پتہ ہے، گو جھولنے والا نہیں باقی یہ پتہ ہے، پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے، پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے، جس خاک پہ خون بہہ گیا زہرا کے پسر کا، جس خاک پہ خون بہہ گیا زہرا کے پسر کا، وہ خاک فقط خاک نہیں خاک شفا ہے، وہ خاک فقط خاک نہیں خاک شفا ہے، پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا 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 ہے، ایک لاش ابھی لایا ہے ایک لینے چلا ہے، ایک لاش ابھی لایا ہے ایک لینے چلا ہے، پیاسے پہ عجب وقت قیامت کا پڑا ہے، یا حسین
بڑھ محمد